Have you ever stopped to ask yourself why people fall in love with you? Is it your charm?
Your intelligence?
Your kindness? Or is there something much deeper unfolding beneath the surface of what neither of you can see? Carl Jung, one of the most profound voices in analytical psychology, believed that love isn't just emotional. It's psychological, archetypal, even mystical. And yet, it follows a clear pattern. People fall in love with you for one of two unconscious reasons. Not because of what you do or say, but because of what you awaken in them. In this video, we'll uncover the hidden forces that guide attraction, why some connections feel magnetic, and why love, more often than not, has nothing to do with who you are and everything to do with what you mirror. Let's begin. Reason 1. The inner map behind every love story. We like to think love is spontaneous. A spark. A moment. Fate. But Jung saw it differently. What we call chemistry is not random. It's guided by an inner architecture, one that was built long before the person ever arrived. Behind every intense attraction is a pattern, a wound, a longing, a missing piece. The unconscious is always at work, leading us toward people who carry traits we have buried, disowned, or forgotten. And this is where the first force begins. People fall in love with you because you represent something they lack. You are what they've been missing. Imagine someone who has always been the rational one. Structured. Logical. In control. And then they meet you, emotionally open, spontaneous, expressive. You feel like freedom to them. A part of themselves they've never allowed to exist. They're not just drawn to you. They're drawn to the part of themselves you reflect. You become the doorway to a hidden version of who they could be. This is projection at work. When someone falls in love with you because of what you awaken, it's less about you and more about the inner potential you symbolize. They don't just admire you. They crave the part of themselves they never learned to access. The danger of projection. Here is where it gets complicated. Projection creates idealization. And idealization creates illusion. In their eyes, you become a fantasy, a healer, a hero, a savior. And when you begin to show your flaws, your actual humanity, they may feel let down. Because the image they fell in love with wasn't really you. It was a part of themselves they hoped to reclaim through you. This is why many passionate relationships fall apart as fast as they begin. When the projection breaks, so does the bond. Not because of betrayal, but because the fantasy no longer holds. Reason 2. The archetypes of love, anima and animus. Jung didn't stop at projection. He went deeper into the soul's inner design. He believed that within every man exists a feminine archetype, the anima. And within every woman, a masculine counterpart, the animus. These are not genders or stereotypes. They are deep psychological blueprints, shaped by culture, childhood, myth, and memory. They live in the unconscious. And one day, you meet someone who seems to match your inner image perfectly. The voice. The way they look at you. The mystery. The warmth. The energy. You can't explain it, but it feels like you've known them forever. It's not just attraction. It's archetypal recognition. And this is the second reason people fall in love with you. You activate a powerful inner figure that lives inside them. You are their inner myth. The moment you mirror someone's anima or animus, they don't see you as a person. They see you as a symbol. You've become the embodiment of a lifelong dream, a psychological need, an inner story they didn't even know they were carrying. This is why love can feel like fate, like soul recognition. It isn't destiny, it's the psyche looking at its own reflection in your presence. But this projection is fragile. Because the more they get to know the real you, the more it collides with the inner script they were projecting. And when that happens, the illusion shatters. What once felt divine becomes disorienting. What once felt destined now feels confusing. However, no one can live as a symbol forever. No one can maintain an ideal forever. And you were never meant to. When someone falls in love with your image, they are in love with their own unconscious, not with you. That's why relationships built on projection often collapse under reality. This doesn't mean the love wasn't real. It means it was a mirror, not a meeting. And you can't build a lasting connection when one or both people are relating to a fantasy. Love as transformation, not completion. Despite the chaos projection can bring, Jung didn't see this as a failure. He saw it as essential to growth. Love isn't just about comfort. It's about transformation. Every person we love reflects something back to us, a lesson, a longing, a wound, or a piece of our potential. Even the painful relationships serve a purpose. They shake us awake. Sometimes we meet people to help us evolve. Sometimes to break patterns. Sometimes to mirror the truth we've avoided. But in every case, they are not random. Jung called these connections synchronistic. Not logical, but deeply meaningful. When someone arrives at just the right moment, when the emotional impact is bigger than the timeline justifies, you're not imagining things. Your soul was ready, and so was theirs. So why do they fall in love with you? Because you either, 1, reflect something they've lost or never developed. You are the image of what they aspire to become. Or 2, you trigger an unconscious inner archetype. You match the myth their soul has been quietly replaying. In both cases, the love has more to do with them than with you. But that doesn't make it any less powerful. In fact, it makes it sacred. Because it's through love that we finally confront our own reflection. We meet ourselves disguised as another person. And through that mirror, we change. What happens when we wake up? When you begin to understand these patterns, your own projections, the inner images you carry, the traits you chase, you stop falling in love blindly. You begin to love consciously. You stop searching for someone to complete you, and start seeking someone to grow with. You let go of fantasy, and you embrace reality. This doesn't make love less magical, it makes it real. Now you can love with awareness. You can see the other person clearly, not as a symbol, but as a soul. Here's what Jung would want you to know. You are not just a person in someone's life. You are a reflection, a message, a symbol. Sometimes you are the light they've buried. Other times you are the chaos they can no longer suppress. But always you are a mirror. So the next time someone falls in love with you, don't rush to prove yourself. Pause. Ask, what part of themselves are they seeing in me? And what part of me is drawn to them? Because love at its deepest level is not about possession. It's about awakening. You don't fall in love to find someone else. You fall in love to meet yourself through them. If this video helped you reflect on your own experiences, take a moment and write in the comments. I choose conscious love. Let's create a space where we love not out of need, but out of clarity. Where we stop projecting and start connecting. If you found value in this, subscribe to the channel. There's more to come, more truth, more depth. Until next time, stay curious.